Hello, Cancer, and welcome to Mind, Body, and Heart Tarot Therapy. I'm here to do the reading for November 2019. Sorry, it's a little bit late. It's November already, but yeah, I've been having quite a month, moving a lot and traveling and so on. All right, so seems that we have the Ace of Cups as your current energy. All right, Ace of Cups. So I hope you're well, Cancer. This is a general reading for, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. If it resonates, it resonates. And if it doesn't, then it's just not your reading. Don't try to fit it in. Use your intuition to know if it's your reading or not. Seven of Cups as your challenge. I can take this away. Hope you're enjoying all this intense Scorpio energy. And Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, and you had a new moon in Scorpio. Now we're gonna have a full moon in Taurus. Yeah, interesting times indeed. Okay, so we have the Nine of Pentacles as your focus. The Knight of Wands is your advice. Okay, so you have two cards for future energies, or direction as I call it. The Knight of Cups and the King of Wands. We're going to read them together. All right, and bottom of the deck, underlying energy, beautiful. We have two aces, the Ace of Wands. Well, Cancer, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Seems you're really working well with this energy, actually. Scorpio is a fellow water sign, and a Mercury retrograde in Scorpio really gives the mind time to go deep, to slow down, to feel through. And I think we have Venus in Sagittarius now. So that's a very, as I said, these are interesting times, and those of us that know how to navigate these waters can go quite far, and I feel like you're doing that, Cancer. The Ace of Wands does talk about the spark of awakening towards your passion, towards life itself, towards the action that comes from spirit, from spirituality, from your like spiritual awakening. I hope that makes sense to somebody out there, because I'm rambling here. All right, let's clarify these cards. What are these cards here? Okay. So we have the Ace of Pentacles with the Ace of Cups, no, the Queen of Pentacles, sorry. The Ace of Cups. We have the Star with the Seven of Cups as your challenge. We have the Three of Cups with the Nine of Pentacles as your focus. The Ten of Swords with the Knight of Wands as your advice. The Seven of Swords with the King of Wands and the Knight of, what is that, Cups, I think. Yeah, the Knight of Cups as your direction. And bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Pentacles with the Ace of Wands as your underlying energy. So underlying energy means like kind of the theme of the reading. It's what you're working really with this month, what you're working through, what you're working towards, all of that, if that makes sense. Right, so the Ace of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles, that's a pretty interesting combination of energies, right? The Ace of Wands talks about, as I said, like it's some type of awakening where you have that spark of clarity and understanding, but it's not that clarity that you get from the swords energy. It's not the clarity of mind. It's more of like um it's that clarity that comes from inside, from deep inside at the that inner wisdom that comes with or as a result of deep meditation or things like that. The Eight of Pentacles here, I feel like it has to do with like this spark of passion and really, yeah, I can only call it awakening. This awakening has to do the with your work, with the what you putting your energy in. It doesn't necessarily need to be the work as in the career, but more like what are you spending really your time on a daily basis, perfecting your craft, something that you're working on that you enjoy, like maybe it's a personal project, maybe it is your actual job, maybe it's a business that you're putting together, something like that, but it has to do with something that you do on a daily basis. Also, it may simply refer with like what you put your energy in on a daily basis. How do you spend your time? How do you spend your days? Your routine, your daily routine. So I think like you're getting some deep wisdom and deep understanding about this and about how you're putting your energy, where you're putting your energy, and you're learning how to do this like methodical, repetitive kind of work that it is very satisfying because it does give some type of like palpable results. Let's see where that goes. Okay. Ace of Cups and Queen of Pentacles. Current energy. Ace of Cups. Another type of opening. The Ace of Cups is like it's really the opening of the heart. It's like it's the beginning of um of a hard journey here, and I see this Knight of Pentacles going somewhere there. Um, so I feel like you're awakening your emotional self, and Cancer, you are very nurturing. You're deeply empathetic, and maybe there were times in your life where you had to hold that back. And I feel like you're coming back to self now. You're coming back home, and you're coming back at your heart space where you can that that deep love that you're looking for is within, and you're able to see the value in that, and you're able to really nurture that at this point, to know that you don't need anything outside of yourself in order to feel valuable. The Queen of Pentacles talks about like really knowing one own's value and knowing what's important in life. She's also talking about routine and about daily activities. She's also talking about this very earthy um, plane where she does her chores with as if they are sacred. Yeah, it reminds me of the monks in monasteries that do their chores like with reverence, like part of a like meditative work. The Queen of Pentacles can get into that a little bit, like taking care really of the house and of a garden, really connecting with each and every task at a very deep level. This is mastery, like you're reaching mastery at some sort in a way that you're putting your energy in your daily basis here. And the Queen of Pentacles is also very, very nurturing. She's creating space, and she's caring for the space for the whole family. And when I say family, it doesn't necessarily mean actually your family, though it can mean that, but it can be just like simply being able to create space for other souls to be nurtured and grow. And also, she's deeply nurturing with herself, right? She knows how to take care of herself. She knows how to really understand her limits. She doesn't overwork. She doesn't oversleep. She knows how to use her energy on a daily basis, right? And yeah, I think like the Ace of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles, your current energy, you're in a good place here, Cancer, right? You're really opening up your heart, and you're really finding that inner deep value that comes from your love. Because see, the cup here, it overflows, and all this water goes back into the ocean. So I feel like, yeah, maybe you feel her opening so widely and so beautifully, and you can connect not just with your loved ones, your immediate loved ones, but with humanity at large, or with the collective consciousness, really. And you can connect through love. What is challenging for you right now, though, is um to sort out your emotions, really, because you can have so like once we have these openings, with the Ace of Wands here, and the Ace of Cups, you have these beautiful openings, and a lot can emerge with that. When we do have these openings, it's like it feels like you're cracking out the shell sometimes, and all the emotions that were blocked for a while because we were afraid to feel them, or because we just weren't ready for them, may emerge as well sometimes. And that can feel a little bit confusing and scary. But the Seven of Pentacles talks about also taking stocks of your emotions, like really feeling through and understand what really serves you. What emotions are you holding from something that's from the past most of the time, that don't necessarily reflect anymore the situation, like it's something in the past, it is not important anymore, you outgrown that situation, but you still somehow resentful or something. This is baggage that's being carried, and sometimes we don't feel those stuff because we are, as I said, afraid to just go there. It hurt at some point and we didn't like it. But I feel like you, with these openings and with this like very grounded energy of mastery and routine and the ground, I said already, like grounded awareness, you're able to look into these cups and see what you got in there, and you're also able to feel them. You don't need to think too much through this process. This is a healing journey, right? Because this is the star here. And it's a major arcana. It's a big deal, healing. um so you're definitely capable of doing it. You have what it takes. You have the grounded awareness, you have the nurturing space, you have the opening of the heart, you have the opening of this deep inside. So hang in there. I know that this can be scary and can feel really confusing. In my Seven of Cups also could talk about addiction, like start going into different, looking for different states of consciousness, because um I don't know, maybe we feel bored with the daily routine, or maybe there's a way of sabotaging ourselves when things are going so great. We're afraid that something's going to happen, and instead of waiting for something to hit me, here I am, uh, I don't know, trying to provoke it sometimes. I know it doesn't make any sense, don't do that. but sometimes, yeah, we do things that don't make sense. I don't know if that's the case, not necessarily. Or maybe, yeah, these emotions can emerge that you've been blocking off for a while. Um, Different states of consciousness could mean dissociation. But this is the star here, so you've got, like, you're guided, you're protected, you're healing some pretty deep wounds here, so definitely hang in there. It is challenging, that's why it's in your challenge position, but feel through. I mean, like, really take your time, use this grounded energy that you have, the Queen of Pentacles here, to get in here safely. Being grounded, like, in your body and in your present moment, can really, really help you to not get lost in this Seven of Cups energy of dreaminess and confusion and emotional. Nine of Pentacles with Three of Cups as your focus. So Nine of Pentacles talks about somebody who's really in her in her garden, like she's in the garden that she grew. It's somebody that worked really, really hard. See, the Eight of Pentacles here talks about somebody who's working methodically and is building up this craft. And Nine of Pentacles is like time to really indulge in the fruits of your labor. It's like you've put in the work, you worked hard to get here. This is not something that it was given to you. This is part of your work with the Nine of Pentacles here. So it's important, maybe as a focus, it's important to look at your own work and give yourself credit for it. And give yourself time also to indulge a little bit in the fruits of that labor. Don't just like work, 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 work. Take a break. Take yourself out on a date. See, this lady's like dressed up really, really nicely here with like silks and stuff, and go out and enjoy life. Go connect with your soul family. Celebrate your accomplishments. Celebrate your journey so far. Celebrate the awakening that brought you here, and celebrate even these emotions that you've been carrying for so long. They have been guiding you, and they're guiding you now, and you're stepping into this place of really letting go of heaviness, really, of like a baggage that's not yours to carry anymore. You've done enough of that. Knight of Wands with the Ten of Swords as your advice. So when the Ten of Swords comes as advice, is definitely encouraging you to shed off a skin here. And the Knight of Wands talks about like exploration and expansion and growth, and it's again of a spiritual nature, it's a little bit of a higher realm. It's not just worldly pleasures. Yeah, well, depends of always how you look at this. The Knight of Wands, it does is somebody who likes to just have fun and whatever. But I think, like, this is your advice. You can take this Ten of Swords with the curiosity of the Knight of Wands, with the playfulness and the expansion of the Knight of Wands. This doesn't need to be so dreadful as we always feel it or think it is. It's really not as dramatic, or it doesn't need to be. We can make it dramatic, but we don't have to. If we approach this release that comes with this healing, that comes with letting go of these confusing emotions, brings a thought pattern at an end, and that's actually fucking fantastic. We all want that. When we get there, we dread that moment because it feels as if we really identify with that part of ourselves. So therefore, that part of me that I acted from for a long time, Yeah, it feels like the death of part of me, but it's not really. We over identify with the personas we create in order to cope with the world sometimes. But it's your advice, so you can, I mean, like, it's not something that's happening to you, it's something that you're doing on purpose, or you should celebrate, like really celebrate this, because there's a lot of reason of celebration, and you do have so much strength and so much um resources that you gathered. And resources doesn't necessarily mean money, it's more about you have that inner strength now, you have you've reached that point where your heart opened up and you have everything you need. Everything you need, when the heart is open, you understand everything. You get that really deepest insight, and you see this, you know what I'm talking about. If you resonate with this reading, you know exactly what I'm talking about, how it applies to you, you know. What is it, that thought pattern that is related to this baggage, this emotional baggage that I've been carrying here, that you know needs to go. And it's part of the egoic construct, and it was important at the time when it was built up in order to protect you, to block off these emotions that was scary or painful. But now it's not needed anymore, because you're releasing the emotions. Therefore that persona that you built up, that coping mechanism is not necessary anymore. So it's going to be actually quite easy to let it go. All right, so we have the Knight of Cups, King of Wands, and the Seven of Swords as your direction here. And as I said, you're opening your heart here with the Knight of Cups. You feel like this whole process of feeling through, letting go, coming into your senses, coming into your gratefulness and joyful awareness of your hard work. And this also talks about timing with the snail here, and the self discipline, really, because once somebody needs discipline and taming, you need to tame your own impulses in order to have the discipline to work hard like this to get here, you know. When you go through all this and you're really present with it, and you're letting go of this you're shedding off the skin here, you're letting go of yet another uh delegate that you created at some point in your life. Then you stripped one layer off, and you're lighter, and you're more able to come into the world with an open heart, being able to really communicate from heart space to your actions. And I'm talking actions here, especially with the King of Wands. Your actions can come from the heart much more than before, because you've had, like, see, you have the Ace of Wands and you have the King of Wands here. You're going from an ace to a king, so hell yeah. There's expansion here of the Knight of Wands, and curiosity and growth. There's expansion of your emotional realm. With the Knight of Cups, knights in general speak about expansion. And the kings do speak of mastery. So you can have, like, where this propels you is more open heart, more like authentic connections, and an action that comes from heart space and authenticity, also confidence and deep awareness. Really, the King of Wands is very very confident, and he's aware that, like he can be quite impulsive, and he can like, and not be sometimes too playful. He feels like he has nothing to lose, and he doesn't have anything to lose, because he knows that even if he gambles everything he has and he lost it, he knows that he will be okay down at the core, you know. This is like why the King of Wands is so sparklingly confident. And then you have all this come together with the Seven of Swords. So I think that as you open your heart, and as you come from a more authentic space, you start also catching on your how your mind's been trying to rationalize things and actions, and you you start seeing how your mind has been trying to sabotage you. And I think there's a warning coming here with don't let the mind do that. You can see it. That's why like this process is slowing you down enough in order to see when the mind is working against you. And it's not really working against you because it wants to hurt you. Don't make an enemy of your mind here. It's more about it's running on old programming that's not needed anymore. It's like when our own organism or immune system works against us because it's like confused, you know. The same goes with the mind every once in a while, and that's why it's good to have a quick check-in. The sevens are really about checking in, about taking stock. So do take stock of what's the programming that you're operating from. What are the thoughts patterns? What are the repeating, recurrent thoughts that come again and again and again to you? It's a beautiful journey. There's a lot of growth here and mastery, as I said, expansion and joy and celebration, and really looking at your strengths here. And yeah, it's good. It's good, Cancer. All right, now let's see what's the message from the universal heart, from the Rumi Oracle. Okay, there we are. I got two. So we have the Cloak of Christ and Enter the Garden of Delights. And the Cloak of Christ actually talks about that moment where you need to nurture yourself a little bit, and where you need to really surround yourself with a protective energy and nurturing energy. I'll just read a little bit. It's way too much. Okay, so the poem from Rumi says, okay, I can't see it. In the school of humanity, when you become intimate with God, you reside in a king's throne and teach the angel the nature of the divine. You are tired, beloved. Your soul has been ravaged inside and out, and you are succumbing to struggle that is not karmic or necessary, but a symptom of fatigue and weariness of heart, mind, body, and soul. That which plagues you, whether something specific or general nagging or anxiety you cannot quite pin down, is not as powerful as you fear. You are being given grace here and now that is may be overcome. So yeah, let go of this heaviness, this emotional heaviness that you've been carrying for a long time. Remember, your reactions are a symptom of your exhaustion and a sign that you need to respite, sanctuary, restoration. Something is healing, made possible through divine protection. In this instance, protection is bestowed through the cloak of the Christ. It's more about like the loving energy of the Christ consciousness. It's unconditional loving energy. All right, so that's why you have the Ace of Cups here. It's not limited to being so this unconditional loving energy is not limited to Christ, but it's shared by Rumi and many other holy ones. There is nothing within you that could cause this energy to turn away from you. Not even the parts of you that fill you with fear or sorry, where is that? Shame, guilt, or regret. So even those parts of you can't turn away this energy. So allow yourself to take refuge in this knowledge, to feel not only as an idea, nourishing as that is, but a visceral reality where you complete the sacred honoring ritual and allow yourself to feel the peace and receiving healing. So yeah, it's this whole healing process that seems to be a little bit challenging for you right now, but it's so important to do it, and you are safe, you are protected to do it. Call upon your, like, what makes you feel safer. Call upon your angels, call upon the Christ energy, the unconditional love that you find always within yourself can also be bestowed upon you from ascended beings, if that makes sense. This is getting very abstract, so it might only make sense to some of you, and I don't like to go there in these readings because I'd like a wider range of people to be able to relate, but it seems that this card is very specific, and it does talk only to people that can connect to this protective energy. Everybody can, but if we do have too much preconceptions, we can block ourselves in. So there is a person, place, thing, or belief that has come to be like a manacle around your wrists, an iron bow or a leg iron, preventing you from moving forward with the grace you have earned spiritually. You're being empowered here to shed that. Exactly, my love. That's why this is your advice. So you're empowered here to shed that, whatever this is, like person, place, thing, or belief that has come to slow you down. Don't hesitate. Let yourself be cloaked in Christ energy and receive the spiritual assistance you deserve now. There is a reason for this. The unfolding of your life purpose is taking a turn for the better, and your energy is required to fuel that new life. This is particularly okay, blah blah. Ta ta ta. Okay, so that's the direction, and with the enter the garden of delights, I'm just gonna read the poem because it's quite self-explanatory actually, so it doesn't make sense to get too deep into it. But the poem says, are you aware that sweetness is found everywhere in town? Are you aware that winter is gone and spring has come around? Are you aware that sweet basil and the carnation are whispering in the garden and laughing about how simply everything is found? Are you aware the nightingale has come back from its flight, singing out messages of love to spread delight? Everything in the garden is granted the right from the divine court to appear for our delight. Everything is here to make the earth green and alive as a heaven for our life. What remains buried in the soil will always endeavor to reach out. Sorry. Not one truly alive can ever be bound to a prison or a tomb. Well, this is your message. It's a beautiful message. Do enter this garden of delights. It's right within you. It really is right within you and within me and within us in general. We hold it all within, and most of the time we aren't even aware. But with the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups here, I think that you are. And it seems that you have a lot of protection. See, the star also talks about being guided and being protected. And this Cloak of Christ energy is really, really telling you that you are safe to go through. You're really, really safe to go through this right now. You're encouraged to, you're going to be okay. You're going to come out the other way. Really, really okay. Okay, Cancer, I hope that makes sense to you. If you resonate, please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you here soon. Enjoy the rest of your November.